Hello, let's play Wordle for Wednesday, May 20th. Yesterday we spun the wheel. It said to start with broil. All right. Well, there's an R second. Lots of those. What do we want to do? Common letters, probably. So common letters left are S, T, N. E and A are good letters. All right, good vowels. So a TR would make a lot of sense just to use that T. And then we've got S, N, E, or A. There's not like an obvious thing jumping out at me. Something like trash. I feel like I could do better than that. Treat repeats the T, but I could do like a great guess with the G. Great is tempting. Can I get the N or the S though? Like maybe like an R-E-S-T. Thing is, the common letters left, S-T-N, none of them can go before the R. So I could put like an A or an E before the R, but I mean, sorry, the T is the only one that could go before the R is what I mean there. Great might not be all that bad. I wonder if there's a PR though. P and C are often decent to include instead of the top tier letters. Is there like a crest? Okay, we're gonna go with crest. Let's do it. Finally, just decided on a second guess. Well, it could be something like rec. Thinking R-E-C-K, because like what else is the C doing? And then rec just comes out of that. So let's just guess it. All right, rec. Crest worked out. We will see if the bot agrees with my choice or something along those lines. But first, we're going to spin the wheel and see what tomorrow's starting word will be. It is nerdy, suggested by a double E. So if you're following along, tomorrow we'll be starting with nerdy. All right, let's do our analysis. Okay. Leave a comment if you like the analysis. I feel like I mostly get comments that ignore that the analysis happened. So I want some encouragement that the twice as long I spend on the analysis that I do on the solve is something people are interested in. All right. Sorry, I did not. The answer is not broil. The answer is rec. And I started with broil. And I think I was emailed an analysis. Let's find out. More in-depth computer search. Let's see. I was not. Okay, so this is probably fairly accurate. In fact, it recommends crest, so it's perfect. It is perfect, crest. And then it was only drek or rec. I don't know what drek is. Maybe I've heard of drek. Let's see. What does drek mean? Slang for trash, rubbish, or worthless material. So I could have done trash drek. Anyway. Yeah, drek. Okay. It barely rings a bell, maybe. But anyway, I went with rec, the more common word. So that's the same solve it would do with broil. Let's look at tails. Drone. It would do drone from here. Interesting. Okay. And then it's only rec. Well, there's also these unlikelies. Creppy, Eric, Prief, Premi, Pru, or Preox, Prexy. I've heard of proxy, but not prexy. And Urace. Okay, there's a reason those are unlikely. Okay. Let's look at steel, which, oops, not steak. Steak is actually pretty good because it gets the K, but steel. We're going to go crepe. We're going to steal a crepe. Check for the double E. And that goes back down to direct rec. So 3 or 4. We're going to look at adieu, the most common starting word. Now we're going to get actually good letters with slept. Then we're going to check double E with emery, like an emery board, and then rec. Is that how emery is spelled for emery board? Define emery. Dark granular rock used in natural abrasive. Yes, probably. Okay. Audio does not get the E. It's all gray. We're going to go trees. And then rec. Wow. Rec is just so unique. just kind of pops out. Stare, another common starting word. We have the RE. We're worried about ER trap. Luckily, it's not that today. We're going to do riled. And then now we know it's not ER because the E is yellow there. So we're just going to be nice and happy and do merch and then rec. All right. Seems like we're going to have a low solve average today, like 3 point something number of guesses, maybe. Trace tries to get in 2, and it does. Look at that. All right. And finally, clasp is what the official bot starts with. With just the C, we go trice. I remember the answer was trice, and a lot of people lost because what the heck is trice? I think, I won't say the majority, but I do know a good chunk of people, based on things they've admitted, a good chunk of people got trice, but only because they thought it meant thrice. It's like 3 times, right? It kind of convince yourself that that's what that would mean, but it means something completely different, which I've forgotten by now because it was a long time ago. But trice means a very short period of time or an instant, right? In a trice. She fixed leaky faucet in a trice. All right. Well, let's look at the official bot. Grab our screenshot first. We'll call it rec. Okay. And we beat the bot. Give me a 97 skill. I feel like it should be 99 because the other bot said I had perfect guesses. All right. 3.6. That's a little higher than I thought, but it is a 3 point something. So, how many started with broil? 114 others. Trace being the most common follow-up. That makes sense. I am one of very few who did crest. We have crane. Okay, trace and crane. Trade, crate, tread, prune, trash, crust, grate. I did think of grate. I thought of some of these. I wonder if I had thought of trace if I would have done that. I'm not sure. Crest worked out, so would have trace. All right. So ultimately it didn't matter. But I gave a 94 for crest. It would have gone trace. It could have been 94 for crest. But apparently crest was a little bit better, according to the other bot. Clasp, trice, rec. That's the same exact solve. 0.3 started with rec. 6.5, 39.2, 82. A big jump. This is what I'm talking about. From 3 to 4. Huge jump to 82. 97.6, greater than 99. All right. Yeah. So we're just going to do a quick analysis of the other one because it's not all that interesting today. But we'll still look at the stats. This is about the same, isn't it? All right. How many people was it? 164? Okay. We got Slate, Diner, Mercy, Rec. Sorry, that's not Mercy. That's Mary. Okay. 0.5, 5.2, 30.7, 73.2, 94.1, 99. It's 99, but it's not a greater than 99. People are losing on Creek. Interesting. All right. Well, how'd you do?